I am braving the airwaves and the Ethernet for the listener today because we have no support.
Okay.
No electronic support. Only because our internet's been down all morning. So it's been difficult to, not to find the sports stories, but to read up on them. Mm-hmm. But I think I've got a few.
Okay.
I think I got some. And all my tabs are saved. So
Good
I can
enough.
just pop them up. Let's see here. We'll start off with the, you like golf, right? Do you like golf?
I do like golf.
Do you?
Tiger's my man.
Tiger's always been, I don't know, polarizing either way. I mean, either way, even if you like him or don't like him, or if you don't care, you're still going to watch. Or, maybe you'll still may stop down and be like, oh, hey, look, there's Tiger Woods, and then go about your day.
Getting the green jacket this year, though, was just, you talk about culminating a storied career. And the bottom line was, that no matter what, and we always say it, and it seems cliche, but man, at least on the U.S., and, we consider ourselves, of course, and that way here, too. Chamorros are actually like that. Redemption is such a factor, and given the second chance is such a factor in our culture. And I tell you, his second chance coming back after a number of different problems, injuries, and personally inflicted injuries, I just love that story. That green jacket, I was watching that and said, that is bomb.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And what was really cool about it was that it kind of happened under the radar. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really like one of those things where it was just like, oh, Tiger's headed up to 18, he's going to go putt for the jacket. No, it was like I woke up and it was like, oh, Tiger Woods won the Masters. Hear the time difference. Because I think he won, it was like 2:30 in the afternoon there,
right,
which would have been middle of the night here. And so I woke up and was like, oh, Tiger Woods won the Masters. I didn't even know I barely remembered he made the cut.
Even he himself was saying when interviewed, one of the portions of the interview that I caught that I thought was pretty cool was, I started to know that I could do this because in a couple of tournaments I played coming up to this, all my mechanics were good, and especially on the putting, the line was there. It just wasn't dropping. He said, just got to tweak this just a little bit, and everything came together for him to peak at the right time to get the Masters. And when asked, did you kind of surprise yourself on this one? He was like, maybe yes, but not necessarily because I felt it come in the whole way. My mechanics came back, and my lines were really good, and I knew I could do it. So. Pretty cool. Good story.
Oh, yeah, good story. But either way, so our junior golfers, I was like, what were we talking? The Guam National Golf Federation sending a 4-member team, and they're it's going to be very cool, too. They start, I guess, today, so they're already there, over in Japan, Kanagawa?
Bless you.
Kanagawa, okay. Yep. Kanagawa for the 2019 Asia Pacific Golf Confederation Junior Championship at the Hakone Country Club. Marcus Nanpe, Antonio Lasan, and sisters Hannah Terrell and Sarah Terrell will represent Guam. It's a 3-day co-ed team. It's going to be the best juniors, 18 years and younger, from 18 countries all around the region. So good luck to them as we send that delegation, that small golfing delegation, over to Japan. Yeah. Elsewhere, the IIAG/GDOE, whatever we're calling that league, the girls volleyball high school league kicked off yesterday evening all around the island. There was tons of games. The one I've got I've got a result on JFK beating Tiedzen as they start the season off with the win. Kiana Rivera notched 12 kills, and that helps them in straight sets, meaning the JFK Lady Islanders take care of the Tiedzen High Titans in IIAG football action or volleyball action. Elsewhere, the Geckos played the Warriors. But due to some local reporting, I just have pictures and no results or any information. So the Geckos play the Warriors. If anybody knows the result of that, please pass it along.
Right on.
And we got cross country. This is also kicking up first quarter sport. And the Okudu Bulldogs, of course, they're very well coached. I think Coach Mendel's still out there.
Right on.
Desmond? Yeah. I think Desmond's still out there. Either way, if it is Desmond, then he is coaching Okudu Bulldogs, and they get a win over, I believe, his former squad, the St. John's Knights. It happened up at the Okudu course through the rainy weather because it's running, and they'll run through the rain. But yeah, let's see here. The Bulldogs didn't claim the fastest time, but they did secure 8 of the top 10 finishers. That locks in the 24-53 win. However, you score cross country.
Wow, I didn't even know you scored cross country.
Yes. With numbers, right? Yeah, so Bulldogs beat the Knights in cross country, 24-53. Whatever, I don't
Right on.
So there you go. That's what I got.
I just like the way you. I had a good friend that I worked with in the '90s, doing an offshore operation, and his name was Guy. What I called him, Guy Tyrell. But you have that Turl going.
Tyrell?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said
Terrell?
No, you said Terrell, which is actually the way it's supposed
Terrell.
to be. Yeah.
Yeah, not
but,
Tyrell
but for some
or
reason,
Terrell.
my Chamorro kind of got a Texas accent or a southeast maybe Mobile, and I always called him Guy Tyrell.
Well, you know, I think if you spell it Tyrell, right?
Is that Turtle?
That's Tyrell.
That's Tyrell.
Right, because I
okay.
want to say like if his name was spelt like that, then he would be Tyrell Owens.
Okay.
You know, only because I think in Game of Thrones there was a last name and there was Lady Tyrell and it was Tyrell. And I'm saying all that because in Texas, on Highway 20, right there between Dallas and Tyler, Texas, there is a town. Actually, hometown of a guy named Eric Bishop, and the world knows him as Jamie Foxx. But his hometown is called Terrell, and it's spelled like Terrell Owens, like Terrell. And actually, I don't know, and I said all that to say, Hannah and Sarah Tyrell or Therrell or Terrell, they're actually spelled Therrell. So is that Therrell? Is that Terrell? Is that Tyrell? Is that Therrell?
I know we've had a lot of fun
Therrell?
with
Is it Therrell?
I think out of all those options, you hit at least once.
I just like the southern part of it, though. The reason why I would call him Tyrell is just because I enjoyed doing it.
You know, the more I tend to indulge myself in frosty adult beverages, the more and more the accent comes out. I don't know about you, because you know when I meet people, and I don't know about you, I'm sure you probably run into the same thing. I grew up in elementary school going to like want to be an actor, you know, like commercial, you know, do commercials, TV shows, and all that. So I went to the KD studio in Dallas.
Been good.
Thanks. Well, I went to the KD studio in Dallas to learn acting classes, you know, and so they help your diction, you know. And this was like late elementary, all through middle school, and then in middle school, 8th grade, I auditioned because you have to audition to be accepted into like Arts Magnet. Have you ever seen the play or the movie Fame?
Absolutely.
So I went to basically the high school, performing arts high school, like in Fame. I went to that, but in
Nice.
Dallas, not in New York.
Sure.
You know, so Dallas had their own version, and I went there, and again, they beat all the diction out of you, and they make sure, you know, because we were in Texas, so they make sure, hey, listen, you know, ain't all y'all gonna talk like this, you know. So I mean, none of us did. You know, we all right in the middle of Dallas. All these actors had no accents. You know, we were just talking normally, and then go from there into broadcast school, and they for sure. They spend a whole half of the because you take lectures. Half of the first part of each lecture of every day is diction.
And the fact of the matter is when I got into radio, it actually took me about 3 years of working in radio to lose the Texas, for the most part, out of my voice. Now, once in a while, it'll pop in, but like Blake said, generally it comes back with every increased.
So are you like,
Well, that seems just wrong. You know, regional accents ought to be celebrated.
No,
you know?
you're
And
right.
the southern
I agree.
accent, I find it interesting.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I'm with you only because when I watch a movie, like when you watch the show Friday Night Lights, which is about high school Texas football,
Sure.
and you have all these actors, some Canadian, some whatever, and they try to put on the accent.
Yeah,
you know, it's like,
that's-
can't we just get like Reese Witherspoon in here to talk normal? You know,
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, come on. But yeah, I mean, but you're right. But it is weird because it's like, why wouldn't you want, you know?
To celebrate the differences. You know?
Although I will say this though, he's won an Oscar and he never lost it, but I guess that's his aura. But Matthew McConaughey somehow got away with keeping the same Texas accent.
Yeah.
you
So
know?
you know my
Again,
mid,
good for him.
Yeah.
So my
It works.
white side of Chamali, because I'm half. So my mother's from the Midwest, Michigan. And so we used to do youth groups as kids, and you know we used to intermingle and stuff. And so whenever the youth groups would come up from the South, the kick that I always got out of it was, at least at that time, might still be so. It didn't matter what kind of an aluminum can with a beverage in it; it was a Coke can.
See, so you already know.
Yeah.
So if
You already know.
if there
Is
was
there a
an
problem with
orange
that?
soda
Yes,
sitting
there-
on the
apparently.
table, say,
Apparently.
"Are you done with that Coke can?" I was like, "That's not a Coke can. That's
is.
an
No,
orange
no,
soda."
no,
No.
it's a Coke
Every
can.
can is a Coke
See,
can.
so my mom had a friend who was from the Midwest when I worked my first job at 15, and it was at a sandwich shop in Texas, and so my mom's friend, he used to give Texans a hard time all the time. He used to give me a hard time all the time, and so we got into that discussion. He's like, and another thing, why do y'all call it Coke? Why is everything Coke here? He goes, so if I went into your sandwich shop and I was like, hey, I want a Coke, what would you do? I'd be like, oh, well, I'd hand you the empty cup. And I'd be like, oh, well, all of our Cokes are over there. What kind of? I was like, which one? Here's your, okay, you would like a Coke? Here you go. Which flavor would you like? You want Sprite? You want Dr. He's like, no. But awesome. He goes, yeah. But then I would look at you. I would look at you like you were dumb, and I would say, no, I asked for a Coke. I said, and I would look at you like you were dumb and say, you're not from around here, are you?
Right.
And hand you your cup and send you to the fountain machine.
Here's your cup.
Yeah,
Right?
Go get your Coke, whatever flavor you want.
Yeah, quite literally a conversation that you will hear in Texas is a father and son standing at a soda machine, and the father will look over and say, son, you want a Coke? And he'll go, yeah, Dad. And what kind?
Yeah. And I don't know. And the thing is, I've had arguments about this before, but I don't, because it's not pop, it's not soda.
Sure.
And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just a Texas thing. Come to think of it, I don't know. I spent time in Oklahoma. I had godparents that lived there when I was a kid, so I spent summers there. And I don't remember Oklahoma doing it.
I think these folks were from Georgia.
Oh, really? Yeah. I lived in Louisiana for a few years. All Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, hit all those big cities, and I don't remember it there. But Texas, and I mean, from Houston to Dallas, El Paso to to Lufkin, it seems pretty par for the course.
It's a standard thing, man. I mean, we're taught it in schools.
Yeah, you go in the store, go on, kids, go and get you a Coke. And you go over there and you bring back orange Fanta or whatever it is. Coke means carbonated beverage.
There you
for
go.
For children. All right?
And you heard it on the post here on Gone. Sports with Blake.
Yeah.
You promised me something, but I want to do it tomorrow.
Okay, save it.
Can we? Because I got guests coming in, and we're going to take them to the top of the hour. And we've just had way too much fun on this one. Sports with Blake.
That's
done.
sports, yeah.
And we're going to take a short break here, and then we'll come back for the 8:30 news.
Are you ready for some football? The Ray Gibson Show has got your NFL fix every Friday on Sports with Blake. Be a part of the action by going to yahoo.com's Fantasy Sports Pro Football Pick'em. Join League 3384 with the password Ray Gibson. Choose your team name and get your game on. Winners get a chance to win some awesome prizes that get you through the NFL season. The NFL Picks on the Ray Gibson Show is brought to you by Current Guam.
Okay, we're back with the point, and I don't know. I guess I just wanted that story so badly. Blake, let's go with it.
Okay. So the Aitken or Atkin, Aitkin. I just wanted to bring this to attention because I know you're a fan of this sport, and this is actually interesting because, hey, DOE, since you want to run a sports league now, maybe let's add a new sport because we can do this. The Aitken Anglers. Aitkins High School, AHS, which is in Aitkin, Minnesota, has a new high school sport, fishing. The idea, thank you. I know, right? I made it up myself. No, the idea was the brainchild, actually, of Kaija Davies. She said, I needed a senior project for Mr. Miller's class and wanted to come up with something that would benefit students who are not into traditional sports. I guess apparently high school fishing clubs are becoming popular all around the state. 3 years ago, there was only a handful of club fishing teams around the state. Now there are more than 300 schools in high school that have a fishing team.
Nice.
Of course, only makes sense in Michigan, in the land of 10,000 lakes.
Yes, sir.
And I know I said Minnesota, but apparently this is like a border town.
Okay.
This is on the most eastern Minnesota-Michigan border.
Got it.
I guess even though Aitkin is technically Minnesota, they still are close enough to some of those lakes up in Michigan to use. It cost the school $0.
Right on.
See, DOE, it can be done.
I've been riffing on that all morning.
Expenses and equipment are paid for by the student athletes. The only cost to a student athlete is a $25 registration fee. That also provides some liability insurance in case you get accidentally injured or, hook another person, something like that. And there's no charge to enter the tournament. So there you go. Yeah. So sport fishing in high school is a thing. Currently, there are 16 members on the team. When the team enters a tournament, 2 people fish in each boat with 1 captain and then a driver. The captain volunteers their time and pays their own expenses. And then Minnesota fishing laws apply to team members.
Wow, so this is actually boat fishing, too.
It's boat fishing. Yeah.
So they'd be looking at salmon, probably some coho.
Walleye. You got a...
Northern pike?
Is there sturgeon up there?
No, I never fished sturgeon.
Pike? I know you said pike.
Northern pike for sure.
Carp?
Plenty of carp.
Yeah, plenty of carp.
Especially,
right?
plenty of carp. And I tell you what, carp gets a bad name. That's good eating.
Yeah, oh, it is. It is.
That's good eating.
Most freshwater fish to me is good. I'll eat most of any of it.
I have
especially
friends,
throw cornmeal
I
on
have
it.
friends,
and fry it.
exactly. I have friends with the carp. What they would do is just gut them and hang them and dry them in a dried fish, and then they
Same thing with perch.
Put 'em in the
Because
fryer.
I mean, you probably have to catch half a dozen perch just to make a small Chessa appetizer or something like
But
that.
this, the salmon breaded. Oh man, I'd have had an aunt that used to she'd cut out the salmon, take out the fillet, and she'd cut them into these little, like they look like tater tots when they came up, but they were salmon. Amazing.
Yeah. My grandma used to make salmon croquettes, like fried, pan fried. You know what I'm talking about? Pan fried. That's the pink boy in a can.
You got to have that, man. If you live in the South, salmon croquettes are part of the deal.
Salmon croquettes with some ketchup and some greens on the side.
Man, I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry. We're gonna have
As a
to
matter
go
of
to
fact,
news.
that was usually our Friday fish thing.
Oh yeah,
at home.
Shake it in a brown paper bag with the cornmeal.
yeah.
Oh yeah, throw it in the fryer.
Italian breadcrumb.
Little half a pint of Crisco in the cast iron skillet.
Lard. My grandma always used lard.
I thought that's what Crisco was. Just the Cool Whip version of it. Just a little bit sweeter.
Right on, Blake. We're going to head on over to news for the bottom of the hour news, and then we'll goof off with some friends that I have here and just a little bit going up to the top of the hour. Now we got Kevin with news.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines for the Guam Daily Post this morning, the Guam Department of Education hoping to free up $2.5 million that it now spends every year on a third-party fiduciary appointed by the U.S. Department of Education. Guam DOE has been a high-risk recipient of federal educational funds since 2003, which resulted in the appointment of that third-party fiduciary. During testimony on the budget bill yesterday at the legislature, Superintendent John Fernandez said he received a letter from U.S. DOE informing him that a fourth condition had been removed, leaving 3 more conditions imposed by the feds that still need to be met to lift the oversight over DOE's finances. Senator Therese Terlahi asked for the update on that, saying that the end of the third-party fiduciary would free up funds for other DOE needs. Fernandez attributed much of the progress to outgoing Deputy Superintendent Taling Taitno, who recently announced her resignation. She's going over to the Guam Waterworks Authority to be their new Chief Financial Officer. Port Authority of Guam has set aside about $884,000 to cover the cost of paying back wages to 9 former employees, including Agate Mayor Kevin Siswico and 5 workers terminated for their reported involvement in an allegedly fraudulent workers' compensation claim 8 years ago. The set-aside is included in the port's 2020 budget that was approved by the Board of Directors of the Port Authority of Guam yesterday afternoon. Port Controller Jojo Guevara presented the budget to the board, explaining that the set-aside is there just in case. It'll be folded back into the budget if it does not have to be paid out. The Department of Agriculture's Forestry Division will continue its effort to reforest the island this weekend. On Saturday, agricultural officials and volunteers will gather at Morito's Manal watershed and plant about 4,000 trees from 8 o'clock in the morning until just after noon. Senator Clint Rigel and volunteers from various organizations within the freely associated states will be taking part, according to a release from the senator's office. More than 300,000 trees have been planted across the island in the last decade. Agriculture officials have said planting trees helps prevent soil erosion and runoff into the coastal waters around Guam, suffocating reefs and polluting the waters. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
News time on the point is 8:38.
And that's iConnect time, something to make your mouth water, too. Swing by the nearest iConnect. Ask them about great rates and prices on mobile and internet plans for 2019.
Hey, do you know what time the bank closes? I need to deposit my check.
You know you can do that from your phone.
I can?
With Bank of Guam's mobile app, it's easy. Just endorse the back and snap a pic to deposit it into your account. You can do this from anywhere, anytime, which means no rushing to catch the bank and no lines.
With Bank of Guam's mobile app and online banking, we're always open. Visit bankofguam.com for more information. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Member FDIC.
It's time for Wendy's Bacon Fest. Yes, the place that brought you the Baconator, the place that sells more bacon cheeseburgers than anyone else probably on the planet, is making all your Applewood smoked dreams come true. Try the all-new bacon jalapeno cheeseburger or the bacon double stack in the $5 biggie bag. Get yours now at Wendy's for Bacon Fest.
If you're building a career, there's a lot of really good advice in books, on the internet, and hopefully we offer some of that here on The Extra Point. I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, we'll explore the positives and possible negatives of digging into somebody else's opinion of what you should do.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point at guamtraining.com. Brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank on 93.3 The Point.
All right, we got right now traffic on the point. 8:10:16 looks like it's really backed up. Let's see, we've got Upper Tumon. Looks like the Nissan intersection's kind of jacked up too. Looks like over the Route 1 and 3 is still pretty heavy over there by GRMC, and it looks like Reverend Tax intersection also. It's got quite a few folks. Let's see the Dedido precinct, maybe one of the intermittent intersections there on your way Route 1 North. And that'll take care of our traffic report. Be careful out there. Nice sunshiny day today. And just be safe on the roads. And that's traffic on the point.
Everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird.
Circle K has a 3-pound rotisserie chicken, now available for the introductory price of $9.99. It's the biggest, tastiest, and most affordable rotisserie chicken of its kind on island. Save even more by getting a family meal with 2 sides and a bottle of wine for only $25.99. The Circle K rotisserie chicken. Get yours today. Circle K. Take it easy.
Have a day and welcome back to The Point. This is Chris Duenas. So we have guests in the studio that are going to take us to the top of the hour, and we only have 2 cameras. So if my gentleman to the right wants to jump in on one of the cameras, we can do a little bit of how do they call that, moving around in the seats there. But, Valerie Bloss got a hold of me, and there was a release basically that she sent me. And then it kind of goes like this: with local nonprofits continuously in need of funding to run essential services, the owners of Serenity Hospitality have stepped up once again to help with iCare Signature philanthropic program. Century Hospitality owners Bruce McKenzie, Keith Markowski, and Sandra Lee started the iCare program at their hotels in 2015 to generate funds for nonprofit organizations. And so the purpose of this interview is actually to talk about a new and innovative sport that has come to Special Olympics. Now, the reason why I introduced Valerie and their team and what they're doing is because supposedly on Monday, they unveiled their donation to the nonprofits and what they do in the community. But alongside their donation, they also wanted to have me highlight the fact that this year there is a new program for Special Olympics. So I'm going to go from my left to my right and have these good-looking gentlemen introduce themselves. Hafa and welcome to The Point.
Hafa. Good morning, Chris. Thank you. My name is Camilo Lorenzo, the chairman of the Special Olympics Committee. And yeah, we're glad to be here, and we're extremely happy and excited that Senardi Lee and Sandra Lowe from the Wyndham brought in and helped us start this new sport that we've added into the Special Olympic program year-round, badminton. We added this sport in conjunction with them. Not all athletes can participate in the events we currently hold. Such as swimming, bowling. Not everybody wants to put their children in the water or an athlete in the water. Bowling, our facilities is limited. We only can have so many play. The capacity's not there. So badminton, it's a new sport added, and it's an interesting sport for the athletes. They never heard of it. they don't know what it is. So now that we've brought it in, we've also brought in a coach from the Philippines, Coach Ian, who's with the Badminton World Federation. He was here 2 weeks ago. He did some instruction for coaches and volunteers to help understand the sport and help us understand how we're going to train our athletes.
Okay.
So I can pass it over to Coach Ian so he can just talk a little bit more about the sport and how he helped facilitate the program with us.
Yeah.
Welcome to Guam, Coach.
Yes, good to be back here in Guam. This is like my third time.
Nice. Half a day, right on.
Good morning to everyone, to all your listeners. My name is Ian Heel Pianzanaves. I am from the Philippines, and but I currently work with Badminton Asia as well with Badminton World Federation.
Oh,
so
nice.
I do a lot of tutoring, doing a lot of courses for teachers and as well as coaches. So I'm here in Guam to help out Special Olympics Guam with the guidance of the Guam National Badminton Federation. So first we did a workshop seminar. This is an international certification for the volunteers and for the teachers coming over to be able to deliver a fun and safe badminton activities for the children, as well as for the children with intellectual disability. And we did also just yesterday, Monday,
2 days ago.
yeah,
2 days
two
ago.
days ago, we did a session with more children going to be involved in the, as far as badminton will be introduced to them, and for future events that hopefully they could compete in the World Games, and Special
Yep.
Olympics. Yeah.
So how was your inaugural? How did it go?
Well, yeah, we saw. We did had them experience a lot of success, and it's all about making them try the sport, making it accessible for them, and having a very good rate of success when they do the drills, and making activities also simple, and it's like a game type for them, so they get interested and motivated, and hopefully like the sport. So yeah.
Yeah, Chris, we have Paul Mendiola. He's our sports director. So actually, Monday was our first practice for the athletes.
Okay.
And so he's going to talk more about the practice dates and the event date.
Sure.
So Cam just set me up on that one because that was supposed to be his part of this thing. We practiced this guy just out there, right?
Paul, you're here, and you sound great on the radio. You got a great voice, so just fire away. What are we doing?
Badminton right now, the practices are on Mondays and Fridays, and they're from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., and they'll be held at the Diddy-Doo Sports Complex by GFA.
Okay.
The rackets, everything will be provided to the athletes and to the participants that are going to be there. And so the only thing they need to do is just show up.
Okay.
Like what we said was badminton is a sport, which is interesting because Ian didn't say it, but badminton is a sport that has been around for a long time. I don't know if you remember when we were young, we used to get the presents for Christmas, and they always had
our parents wanted us outside and out of their hair.
Exactly.
And so they said, "Here's a racket. Here's what they call a shuttlecock." And then we went out there, and maybe sometimes if our poles broke, we put talantangan in the ground and made our own net. And that's
then when
how
we
roll,
lost the
right?
shuttlecock, what do we use? We use the rocks or any fruit, the
tennis ball.
But what we did was when we partnered with the Guam Badminton Federation, right? Suardi came up to us and he approached us, and we needed a program that we would allow, like what Cam said, allow other athletes to participate. So this program right now is running in conjunction with another program that we have. But what it's done was it's opened it up for more athletes to participate.
Okay.
Part of the big movement that we're doing is becoming adding unified sports into our Special Olympics Guam program. This is a unified sport. What that does is helps the athletes grow alongside other athletes without disabilities.
That's what I was going to ask. This really sounds, this sounds like a great opportunity. And I know a while back, and this became the popular thing to do in a lot of areas where you had children, most especially children with developmental disabilities, was There in the old school way a long time ago, we, for whatever reason, we tried to kind of put them aside, put them together in one place, and and hope for the best. But mainstreaming became the way to go, and the understanding that look, persons with disabilities of all kinds, they live in our world. They don't live in their own world. They don't live together. They live with us. And so there was a mainstream approach to how to do this. So that's what I was going to ask, Ian and Paul. Basically, is there that interaction time for those, children?
Definitely is. Our mission and goal is for inclusion, and inclusion is to take an athlete and keep on challenging them, giving them a sport. Badminton offers that.
Sure.
Badminton offers them an opportunity to grow with the sport, to play alongside with what we call a unified partner. Unified partner is an athlete without a disability, and grow within that community of the badminton community, so that in future, down the road, it is our hopes that they become part of tournaments, part of a team.
Sure.
We recently, like this last Monday, we had the members of the Guam Badminton Federation come out. All of their folks come out to help support. And they were alongside us training or introducing the sport to the athletes. And then we use them for more for visuals. Some of these athletes, what they like to see is if you tell them, they might not listen, right? If you include them, right? You involve them.
Sure.
They will learn.
Sure.
And so with badminton and Ian's and the program that they have is really cool because you're involving them throughout the training process.
Sure. So is in the current? I know you said Micronesia or what do you call that? Dedito Sports Complex.
Dedito
Right?
Sports Complex.
So is this indoors?
Yes, it's indoors. We're no longer playing underneath the hot sun.
Okay.
And it's the good thing about badminton right now is from out there where it used to be, now we're bringing it back to outdoors. So now we have this new event called Air Badminton. Yeah, it was just launched this year, and then all the rest of the materials and stuff will be released for next year. And it's going to be awesome because it's going to be played outdoors, whether if it's in the car park, whether if it's in the grass area or in the beach. And then Badminton World Federation will be providing all the necessary equipments, like the mesh tape that could be used as lines.
Sure.
And there will be new certain rules for how to play it. And then there will be some simplified linings also that will be involved. And then we've already showed this to the participants during the workshop, and just making badminton as a simple sport for everyone that everybody could simply try it. Yeah.
And the typical structure for this would be a one-on-one.
Can be one-on-one. It could be pairs. There's different formats that Coach Ian has provided to us. But I wanted to mention with Senardi Lee and Coach Ian, part of their vision on Guam that they've explained to us is to pass this sport on into the schools. Introduce it to the schools, get the engagement with them.
Good idea.
Make badminton a world-renowned sport, inclusion of Guam. And part of our Special Olympics is we want to find someone that we can send to the World Games,
Excellent.
That's something that Frank Florig's dream, our dream,
Yeah.
we're trying to get us out, more than just Guam.
Sure.
And a part of that is entering into the World Games, sending an athlete to compete and, show what Guam is made of.
The reason why I was saying that, one-on-one or pairings, it looks like for the training and integration purposes, a child with developmental disabilities and then the child without,
Unified,
playing in a pair together,
Yeah.
Against each other, it seems like it would be a great opportunity and a lot of fun.
So this is like a BWF approach on a grassroots level. So it's having we're proud. We're one of the sports to really created a lesson plan, a ready program for school. So we called it shuttle time.
Nice.
Yeah, we call this shuttle time, making the word badminton simple for everyone.
Sure.
And for children to easily recall it. And this is specifically designed for teachers to be able to deliver badminton in schools. Even teachers that are not into badminton or into sport, that they can easily deliver this one because we have provided all the resources from the manuals, from the lesson plan. Even we have an application in the phone that they can easily access, going through the manuals and the lesson plan. And all the activities is supported with videos that will be easier for them, because we're looking at teachers also having different learning styles.
Sure.
Yeah, they could be visually, auditory, or kinesthetically, that's the preferred,
Yeah, most everybody on Guam are visual learners.
Yeah, I'm more of a kinesthetic. I just found out because I did a test on this VART testing online.
Yeah.
So I just found myself, I thought I was like visually, but when I was more of kinesthetic. I was kind of like an ADHD person.
And I agree with Cam. Most of us, we are visual learners.
Yeah.
Because when we had a brief discussion out there and we were telling each other what we were going to say,
Right.
part,
Yeah.
that went out the door.
Went out
Yeah.
the window.
We did
got in here, looked at each other, and said, "Okay, let's do this."
You sit there, I'll sit here. You put it.
We're delegators.
when actually during the seminar, when I pop up the question like, okay, what do you think of yourselves? And most of them were like, oh, I'm sure I'm visual because I prefer the videos than reading these manuals. Like,
You know
sure.
something about the Philippines, though, and I love that about it. They're so innovative. They always make things fun and simplify things. I love that shuttle time. I mean, it just makes sense. Could you imagine amongst your friends? It's like the bell rings, you're going out for recess. It's shuttle time.
This came from BWF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they've really created this word.
Just take it for your own anyway.
But Chris, one of the things that we want to remember with badminton and with the sports that we have, but especially with badminton, is that it doesn't also just introduce the sport to the athletes or to kids or to adults. It actually teaches them life skill lessons as well.
Sure. Rules, playing by the rules,
and being inclusive, meaning how to respect with each other and how they respect others. So. Builds that, and that's what the whole program is all about. We're fortunate and thankful for Century, who also was our main benefactor here for this, and because they wanted to more than just give. Sorority will tell you they didn't. It's not just about the donation, but it's about being involved, getting you involved more. And because of them, we are now involved with the badminton. Federation. So thank you to them.
Corporate responsibility. I got to tell you, once again, on this show and our shows, we grapple with taxes and the big bad businessman, and you know what I mean. All they want to do is take our money. I mean, this is why I'm so glad you guys are here, because the truth is that a lot of corporations, Matt and others, a lot of corporations are really try their best to do their best in the community, and they want to give where they know, their dollar is going to be respected, and it's going to be implemented in something that's particularly with this to help our children and Special Olympics. I mean, how can you go wrong?
Yeah, and the program's not just for Special Olympics. Again, it's for unified. So that means it's also open to.
I want to add, it's not just for athletes.
Yeah.
Volunteers, everybody can be a part of Special Olympics.
Right.
It's just not for competition. It's also to get involved, interact with, and be committed.
Sure.
If you're going to come and help us all the way through, and it pays back. At the end of the day, it pays back when you see our athletes performing.
Coach, I just wanted to say something, and then I think we should really do that. Let's take the balance of the show, promoting what we're doing, where we're doing it. Coach, I think one of the things that is wonderful about this sport too is because the expense. Put a kid through football. Oh my gosh, you know what I mean? $150, $200 for the equipment and everything that goes along with that. That's why soccer and rugby became very popular on Guam, because throw on a shirt and some cleats and some shorts and you're out there on the field running. Badminton's like that too, yeah.
Yeah. Now with the air badminton coming out, so it's going to be cheaper for everyone, because they'll be using just one shuttlecock for most of the regular game. Right now, what BW is doing is they're giving a lot of donation every time we do a course coming from the federation. We do give a lot of donation in terms of rackets, nets, and even the
so for this program, the fees are free. There's no fees for the athletes. And badminton, the World Federation has donated rackets, and Dato Complex Gym has the nets already, and it's it's free.
And we want to thank DPR for stepping up and letting us, government getting involved.
I think it's important, because we have people that listen and they might not have heard the first round and they got their pen in their hand and everything else. Okay, give us the dates and the times for practice leading up to, and what is this going to culminate in?
Okay, so dates and times for practices. Every week, Monday and Friday, at the Dededo Sports Complex Gym at 5:30. Be there to 8. That's going to be practice. From there, we'll give them more information on the competition dates.
It's a 9-week program.
It's a 9-week program.
So at the end of the ninth, or the ninth week, we actually have an event.
Okay.
Because this is the first event for badminton. It's considered a demonstration event.
Yeah.
Any website to go to look up details?
No, I got to invite them also for this coming Saturday. There will be another shuttle time certification course for volunteers and for teachers. Yeah.
We
So
have Facebook.
It's going to be
to answer your
8 to
question.
5.
This is Century, Senardi Lee, Sandra Lowe has been a part of this and is helping us badminton hit off.
We always want to give credit where credit's due. I know they put a ton of bucks into this too. And Coach, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us.
My pleasure.
We got a hard break. We're going to the top. Special Olympics. Everybody get involved. Get excited about it. Go to Special Olympics Facebook. See how you can help. And we're going to wrap up this day on the point.
You're listening to KUSG. Hagatnya. We now return to Fox News in progress.
Accounts, transactions, and investments of the Trump family and business organization. It's not clear in the court filing if the tax returns belong to President Trump or another family member. A Trump family attorney is asking the Second Circuit Court of Appeals to block Deutsche Bank from providing the financial information, arguing Congress doesn't have authority to ask for it.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. Purdue Pharma, the maker of the powerful painkiller OxyContin, reportedly in discussions to settle lawsuits over the opioid crisis. One report says the company is willing to offer $10 to $12 billion nearly every